We are talking about the best teams in Marvel Strike Force for the month of July. Let's go ahead and get into it. So we know the newest team to be announced in the game is the Amazing Avengers, and I have a little bit of a theory why this team right here might be one of the most important teams that we're going to be unlocking in the near future. Now, keep in mind, when I say the best teams in the game, I'm talking about the best teams from the player perspective overall, the teams that are going to get you the most bang for your buck, that are going to get you the farthest, they're going to help you to acquire the most resource and other things like that in the game. This is not necessarily a list of the strongest teams. This is just the most versatile. So if you only have to build a few, these are the ones that you want to lean into. And we're assuming right now, this is an assumption, that the Amazing Avengers are going to be one of those teams. Why do we say that? We'll start here by reviewing a recent blog post that's talking about unlocking Rachel Cole, and it says that she's essential for the next Breaker event. Now, the Breakers are the legendary characters of the Age of Fear, and it's here is saying again that she is essential. It says you need her and the rest of the Amazing Avengers for the next Breaker event. Now, we don't have any more details on that, but if this is the case, then that means this is a team that we're going to want to invest in. I'm not saying to jump the gun and go after it right now. What I'm saying is we need to keep our eyes open to see how important this team might be. For example, if we look at our Age of Fear graphic, we recognize that we're starting to move into chapter 2, right? They're already advertising that this next Breaker character is going to be coming out. And if we recall, for chapter 1, when it came to Silver Surfer Breaker, there was a team that you had to have. That was the Daring Warriors. They were paramount in everything that we needed to do. So I'm just wondering if the Amazing Avengers are going to be that same type of team, only in this case for chapter 2. So again, I'm not saying to jump the gun, but it seems interesting that they're starting to telegraph to us that language, the same thing that they did when it came to chapter 1. We recognize Spider-Man Brand New Day, right? That's a movie that's coming out this month. And whenever there's blockbuster movies, people start looking around for games to play because they want that nostalgia. Marvel Strike Force is positioning itself so if people do indeed come in this way, that there are Spider-Man themed characters that people will be able to use. And so then by making that team a highlighted team, a special team, something that can be used, then right, it'll help them to just get right in and just moving forward with the flow of the game. Also, what's going to happen in chapter 2 is the raid revamp. And we know that the Trepidation raid, the Amazing Avengers are going to be used in that raid. We don't know what it's going to look like. We're waiting for more information, but we recognize as a raid team, they are going to be important. Raids is how we get our resources on a regular basis. So zoning in on the Amazing Avengers looks like the right move. Again, I'm not going to jump the gun. I'm not going to tell people to buy or build. I'm just saying, watch out, right? Put yourself in position to be able to move when you need to, and watch out for an indication that this team is indeed a foundational team for chapter 2. Again, the characters that are being selected were selected for a reason. So you're going to have Spider-Man. Again, people coming in from the movie, and he's simply an iconic character. So individuals will recognize him. The kits are easy to use. The team will be easy to use, and it's someone that will definitely attract attention. We know that the Incredible Hulk is also in that movie, and here he is present as a usable character. New rework, new stats. Again, can be usable straight out of the box. Then we have Blade Mighty, a little bit different choice, right? A little bit different choice. My theory on that is they had to build a Blade character in anticipation for the Blade movie, which got canceled. But hey, they already had the character built, so you might as well use it. People will recognize who the character is. Rachel Cole Alves, she's like the Punisher. So if they saw the movie, the Punisher's in the movie. She's like the Punisher. People will ring true in that regard. And then we have Spider-Woman Julia Carpenter. So again, Spider characters are always attractive. The people like them. Right, so now in this case, having both male and female versions of Spider characters, we have a female Punisher, we got the Hulk. So you have a lot of things that people, again, just coming to the game would enjoy, hopefully look forward to, and continue to play. Just something we wanted to point out. Now, the next team that we want to highlight are the Symbiote 6. This is the new arena team. Arena teams are the best all-around teams in the game. I recognize that arena has changed. It might not seem to be as important as it once was, but generally speaking, arena teams are the best all-around teams in the game. Most of their kit is not locked to their game mode, and they're made to be super strong. If we've been playing for a while, every arena team that has come out has been dominant. And this is usually some mix and match of what you see here ends up being the best team in the game. So if we have an opportunity to start building this team, start building our Symbiote 16, we definitely want to take advantage of that. They should be usable in multiple game modes. And something that we just also want to highlight between this team and the Mighty Avengers, it seems that there's a lot of bio characters that we're being asked to build this month. So again, just looking out for that type of gear, that bio gear, as we go through the month will indeed help us to keep up in our builds and make sure we're able to continually move our account forward. So interestingly enough, I would say the next most important character is Breaker Silver Surfer. Now he's not a team, but he is the legendary character for Chapter 1. And as we mentioned, Chapter 1 is coming to a close. So we just want to do what we can to make sure we get the best Breaker possible. I'm sure his event will return, but it's probably going to go into hibernation for a bit when the next Breaker character comes out. That makes sense, right? So you see, this is what I have here. I got 5 stars. 4 of them are yellow, and I haven't yet completed the current run of the Breaker event. It looks like I'll be able to get at least 1 more star working at the end game pace from this account. So then going along with that, we're going to say that the next best team that you need to have is the Shadow Conclave. Now, why is that? If you don't have the other teams, right? The Daring Warriors are indeed the best team overall. The Daring Warriors would be the best team overall to make sure we're using for Chapter 1, unlocking that Breaker event, helping out in Battle World, things of that nature. But depending on where we are, if for some reason we missed the Daring Warriors and we don't have them up and running and we need to get that Breaker Silver Surfer unlocked, then I would say the Shadow Conclave is the best option. They are a named team in that game mode. Again, this would not be for a top score by any means. This would not be, again, a top score by any means, but you could turn on the difficulty selector. So let's just go to the event real quick. So what we mean is you could go right here, right? Difficulty. I have this on max difficulty at the moment. You probably would not be doing that if the only strong team you're going to have is a Shadow Conclave. You definitely would have to dial down to whatever difficulty would be appropriate for you. Again, we're talking to people that did not get the Silver Surfer Breaker, right? If you're just kind of coming in and you're trying to figure out what to do, if you have time to do it before this event goes away, the way to get him is going to be using that Shadow Conclave if the characters are available to you. You're going to want to dial the difficulty down just a touch and put the World at War tags on because Shadow Conclave is a war team. I did indeed on my baby account, right? I have 2 accounts. I have a main account that I've been playing since the beginning, and I have a second account that I restart every year to get a hold of that new player experience. And on that second account, the way I got my Silver Surfer Breaker was I went right here at difficulty number 2, put on World at War, and that Shadow Conclave, because they are a war team, was able to run over everything. They're strong enough that they can just run straight through it. There's energy regeneration, and then in conjunction with the new symbiote team, you're going to need some bio characters, some hero characters. You're going to have enough of those characters to go ahead and get through the content. In line with that, for the other hero teams that you could use would be the Exalted X-Men. They are a Cosmic Crucible team, and if you have them, you could use them instead of the Shadow Conclave. In fact, if you had this team, it would be more appropriate. It should be stronger if you had it built. The reason why I'm listing it after the Shadow Conclave is because of Storm Mighty. So since right now we're doing the Mighty Blade, and his event is going to last for a month, I'm going to assume that we will not have access to the Storm Mighty for that duration of time. We wouldn't have access to her for that month. I could be mistaken on that, but if that is the case and you don't have her, then you will not have the Exalted X-Men at a usable rate, right? They're not going to work very well. Without her. They will work. Again, if you have that difficulty dialed down, they should work. You have to sub somebody else in or have to figure out how to do some things. You could probably make something happen, make something work. But in the case that you don't have her, if you don't have Storm Mighty, then perhaps the Exalted X-Men will not be a team that you're going to build at the moment. If you do, then yes, this is the team that you should go in with next. If you don't have the Daring Warriors, they should be able to do a lot more damage. They have sustain. It should be easier to use them to get through. Again, the only caveat is if you don't have Storm Mighty, you're missing out on a lot of power for the team. And it's possible that there's no way to get her until her event comes back. We don't know when that is. So this is where things would start to get a little bit difficult. The next most important team you would want to have are the champions, in my opinion. You need the champions or the Winter Guard in order to unlock the Daring Warriors. So again, the Daring Warriors would kind of override everything we've been saying so far. They're the main team. But you need, if you don't have them at all, you need one of these other two teams, the champions or the Winter Guard, in order to get to Eclipse, which is the engine of the Daring Warrior team. The champions are a raid team. And again, with this new Trepidation raid that's coming out, I have a feeling that the champion team is also going to be needed. Those of us who've been playing the game for a long time may have recognized that there is a trend when it comes to raid teams. Raid teams used to always be thematic. The team would be a skill-based team. It would be a mutant team. It would be a tech team. And those are the different lanes that you would have to go through when it came to raids. But the last two teams, when it comes to raids, the champions and the Amazing Avengers, don't have those singular traits. The characters in those teams are made up of different traits from those areas, kind of signaling that maybe raids are changing. So if you have to develop one of those two teams between the Winter Guard or the champions, my suggestion then would be the champions, because raids are more important. Winter Guard is a great team. They're very strong. They're made for alliance war. But to continue to make sure we're able to get resources and move our account forward, we need to do well in raids. So if we have to choose between one of those two teams, then it would be the champions that we should lean into. And again, we would be doing that in order to unlock Eclipse, who is the engine of the Daring Warrior team. So again, this will kind of be at the end. If you don't have the team built already, we're listing it here, but if you don't have the team built already, it is unlikely that you'll be able to build them in the near future. I'm wondering about that, right? I'm not saying we shouldn't build them. We'll have to see if there's any more wording regarding what's going to happen in that next chapter. I'm thinking that the Amazing Avengers are kind of going to take this spot and be the team for chapter 2. Again, just keep your ear to the ground. If that's not the case, then yes, we're going to want to get our Daring Warriors. And the way we're going to have to do that is perhaps build either our champions or Winter Guard. Champion is a raid team, and you're going to need raid teams to generate resources for your account. So my suggestion would be to go with the champions. You would then unlock Eclipse at whatever level you get her at with just the one team. And then you have to fill in the gaps for these other members here. They are available right now in the Eclipse Convergence event. So far in Eclipse Convergence, we have 7 days left. So depending on when you're watching this video, there's 7 days left. If it's up and running, just by playing the game, going through and doing ISO 8 or ISO 8 campaigns, you'll get these characters. So you will be able to unlock them and put a little bit of power into them. So depending on when you're coming to the game, if you're just coming out, they are making it available to you right now, as well as helping you to get power-ups for your champion characters. Right at the moment, we're on milestone 10. But again, if you're just coming right now, that's fine. You just do what you're able to, and they're going to give you power-ups for the Daring Warriors and the champions, but you have to have the ISO 8 campaign unlocked. So nothing wrong with that. If that is a route that you can follow, I would take advantage of it, because otherwise trying to build the team can be a little bit expensive. And if they're just going to give you the things, then that is the appropriate route to take. So just to reiterate, we think that the Amazing Avengers are a very important team. It looks like they'll be pivotal in helping our account going forward, but we are indeed just guessing on that. The team that we know, the foundational team that we know, is the Daring Warriors. So what is your thoughts? Are we on the right track? Do we think people should be leaning towards the Amazing Avengers, or do we think they should be reaching back for the Daring Warriors? I think that's just too far back to go if people are just coming to the game now. I'm always encouraging people to move forward, and I think that's something that Scopely also believes in. I think that they just kind of encourage us as free-to-play players to just keep moving forward. We can only build a limited amount of characters every month, so going all the way back to the Daring Warriors seems to be difficult. But I want to know your thoughts on the matter. Are we on the right track, or do you think we're off a bit? Hopefully you're taking care of yourself and your family. Peace.